Hey, what's up, cats and kittens, and shout out to all my cerebralites. It's me, the Cerebral Diva, and I'm back to talk about the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial that is causing quite a stir. So I just finished watching the commercial. I think it was a couple minutes long. I'm sure they're probably going to do a condensed version. Well, maybe they're not going to do a condensed version because based on the feedback and the backlash that they're getting as a result of it, I'm pretty sure that they're probably going to wind up pulling the commercial, which, in all honesty, is probably appropriate, given the current climate that we live in. Now, I watched the video, and I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if I'm just reaching a point in my life where just things don't bother me anymore, or I'm just not easily offended by certain things. But I can definitely look at this video and understand, having seen what's happened with Eric Garner and Trayvon Martin and Philando Castile and all the, Sandra Bland and, all the lives that we've lost, how a lot of people could think that, or not think, could see that Pepsi is basically sort of capitalizing on that particular movement in our culture right now, which is sort of this resistance that people are having to the status quo. Now, the thing about it was, for me, what I see how people see that side of it, but what I took away from it was an attempt to sort of invigorate the movement, to keep the energy of the movement alive, to inspire those who may not have been inspired to participate in protest and resistance, to see that, it's sort of the cool thing to do, and not that protest is necessarily cool, but cool in the sense that don't be afraid to speak up and use your voice. Don't be afraid to be a part of a movement. Don't this is your life, this is your world, and you have a voice in it too. And so that's kind of the message that I took away from it. But when you really stop and not just see it sort of on the surface and really sort of read between the lines and understand the nuances of it, then you can understand why people are offended by it. And also, I think a large part of why people are offended by it is because it's Kendall Jenner. Now, I've watched a couple of episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I think people are probably offended by it being Kendall Jenner just by virtue of her being a Jenner or slash Kardashian, and people not having much deference for that particular family. So, but on one particular episode that I saw, she was consulting with her management team because she wanted to speak out against gun violence. So I've seen her want to be involved in activism. And in this particular episode, when she was talking about getting involved in Black Lives Matter and getting involved in activism, she was being discouraged from doing so by her management team, saying, you don't want to get your brand involved with that. So I think a lot of people may not understand that Kendall Jenner isn't just necessarily a model or this sort of privileged girl who is being given a platform and not using it responsibly. I think that she does have a voice and she does want to use it to make change, but because she happens to be a Kardashian, anything that she does is going to be scrutinized to a greater degree than it would be if it were, say, Malia Obama or someone of that nature. So, I mean, once again, it's one of those things where I can see why people are offended, but in all honesty, for me personally, if I were to sort of grade this on the scale of offensive to me, on a scale of 1 to 10, it would probably be like a 4 for me personally. But just because it's a 4 for me doesn't mean that I don't see why someone else would see it as a 10. So if you have a chance, check out the commercial, see for yourself. I would love to hear your feedback and see what you took away from it. And yeah, I mean, I feel a little bad for Kendall Jenner because I think a lot of times people are judging the person based on perception and not necessarily knowing the actual person. because on the episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians that I did see, she definitely wanted to be involved politically. She definitely wanted to sort of speak out against gun violence and some other things. I can't remember exactly what the platforms were that she was interested in being involved in, but I definitely know that she was being discouraged from doing so. So maybe this Pepsi ad was sort of a more sort of soft-handed way of being political that her team thought was okay, but ultimately it sort of worked against her. As always, I'm closing, you guys. Remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. And I will talk to you guys soon.